Well, Clay, as for powerful winter storms, nothing to worry about today.
No, nothing, at least in our neck of the woods. We're not tracking any kind of winter weather. We had, a couple flurries back in November, but some of the mountains could actually get a few flakes later tonight into tomorrow. But here in the valley, we're going to warm up, then it's just going to cool right back down. But look at this sunrise this morning. This is Chickamauga Battlefield. Look at the cannon pointed straight towards those beautiful skies. Missy Schneider just moved into this area, so we welcome you and thank you for sharing this beautiful photo with us as well. If you get any photos throughout the week, send them to us, weather@local3news.com. Here's a look at the grand scheme of things. So speaking of winter weather, low pressure moving in across the northeast, bringing snow to the northeast, but we're going to have kind of the tail end of this. Not going to be a lot of moisture, but that front is going to come through. So that will change our temperatures for the downside as we get into the latter half of the night into tomorrow morning. But right now, things are actually pretty nice. We have some sunshine out, some high clouds, and all in all, you can't beat it. The winds are starting to pick up a little bit. We're seeing gusts upwards of almost 30 miles per hour. It looks like the strongest winds may stay just to our north, but still relatively breezy out there. Will continue to be. But look at these temperatures. For once, some of us are getting out of the 40s, so it looks like we're on our way to potentially the mid-50s, which would be the warmest day we've had so far this month. Again, we're running about 6 degrees below normal for the month of December here across the Tennessee Valley. And as we look at those highs, 56, not sounding so bad. Of course, with the breeze, it may feel just a little bit cooler, but it is nice to have temperatures back in the 50s. Front passes through later this evening. Maybe we have some showers in our northernmost zones, mainly up towards Ray, Meigs counties, and along I-40 northbound closer to the Kentucky border. However, I anticipate most of the moisture staying to our north and east. After this front passes through, cold air surges in from the northwest. That's going to transition some of that wet weather to some snowflakes right along the Tennessee-North Carolina line. So the Great Smokies, East Tennessee Mountains, Western North Carolina Mountains, all likely to see maybe a couple inches of snow. Can't rule out a flurry or two along the Cumberland Plateau late this evening into the overnight hours. But again, I think most of the moisture are going to stay along the Tennessee-North Carolina line where we get that northwesterly flow as that cold air rides up and over the mountains. But we are going to turn much colder. So although we're going to hit the 50s today, we're right back in the 40s as we get into Thursday. And even tonight, we'll drop down into the 20s. High elevation snow showers possible with this first round of cold weather. Warms up again Friday and Saturday, and then we're right back down as we get into Sunday and Monday. And this could be a really significant shot of cold air, especially compared with this first round. That's where temperatures could dip all the way into the teens across portions of the Tennessee Valley. So a couple of rounds of cold air and warm-ups kind of coming together. So we're on a roller coaster ride, if you will. Winter alerts are posted for Western North Carolina. Again, we're talking about that snow all the way down into eastern Monroe County. So the elevations in that part of Monroe County, over 2,500 feet, could get a couple inches of snow. And you can see all that blue up towards the Tri-Cities. Gatlinburg may get up to an inch. Some of the mountains around Gatlinburg could get a couple inches of snow. So yeah, maybe a few flurries in some of our higher elevations, but most of the winter weather stays to our north and east. Will be much colder tomorrow and much warmer Friday before we cool down again by the end of the weekend, Leah.